Have you ever seen a house built on the edge of a cliff or one hanging off the side of a mountain? In today's video, we're taking you on a wild ride to explore the most risky yet amazing houses in the world. From homes balanced on rocks to buildings in the middle of the ocean, these places will leave you shocked and maybe even a little scared. Stick around, because these houses are not just cool, they're unbelievable. Number 1. Habitat 67. There just doesn't seem to be a way to make apartment buildings attractive. They are big, bulky boxes filled with windows. But Moshe Safdie tried to change that. While an architecture student at McGill University, he wrote a report about three-dimensional modular building systems. His goal was to have us rethink urban habitats. That's how he came up with Habitat 67, a government-sponsored experimental urban residential complex and easily one of the most standout buildings of the 1960s. Habitat 67 consists of 354 concrete boxes connected together. Each box is around 600 square feet and weighs 90 tons. Rather than being stacked on top of each other like a standard apartment building, the boxes are stepped and stacked almost like a pyramid, rising 12 stories in the air. Moshe wanted 1,000 units, but he ended up with 158. They're serviced by 3 elevators, with pedestrian streets on every 4th floor. The apartments have prefabricated parts like pre-assembled kitchens and fiberglass bathrooms. Habitat 67 was fraught with problems from day one, especially due to the expensive maintenance costs. They also weren't desirable as rentals because of their high costs. However, their desirability skyrocketed once they were sold off as private residences. Now, you could spend upwards of $1 million to own 1 or 2 of the apartments within Habitat 67. Number 2. Takasugi-an. If you're tired of door-to-door salespeople trying to sell you vacuum cleaners and magazine subscriptions, plan a move to Takasugi-an. Takasugi-an is a tea house in Chino, Nagano Prefecture, Japan, that roughly translates to a tea house built to high. That's pretty accurate. It's so high up in the air that it's only accessible by freestanding ladders leaned up against it. I'd like to see a salesperson lug their briefcase up there. Architect Terunobu Fujimori built the tea house on 2 massive chestnut trees that were brought to the site from a nearby mountain. He built it for his own use and covered the interior with plaster and bamboo mats. It's so small that it only has enough space for 4.5 tatami mats. Upon climbing up to the tea house, guests take their shoes off at the midway point. They can then take a seat inside on one of the mats and enjoy a bird's-eye view of the town through a large window, which is positioned in the direction of the town where the architect grew up. Number 3. Tsuchigen House. Have you ever seen the burrow in the Harry Potter series? It was a crooked house with random room additions, seemingly held together by magic. The Tsuchigen House in Arkhangelsk, Russia, doesn't look much different. It's believed to be the tallest wooden house, with 13 floors measuring a whopping 144 feet, about half the height of Big Ben. Nikolai Tsuchigen started building his house in 1992. He only intended to make it 2 stories and larger than surrounding homes to show that he was the richest man in the city. But after seeing wooden houses in Japan and Norway, Nikolai decided he wasn't done building. He wanted to use the roof space more efficiently, so he added 3 more floors. When he finished, he said the house looked quite ungainly, almost like a mushroom, so he added another. It still didn't look right, so he continued until the house reached 13 stories. Nikolai said the Tsuchigen House is a happy accident. Alongside wanting to make it look aesthetically pleasing, he also wanted it to be more welcoming. He grew up in a Soviet communal flat and felt lonely living alone. Having more space would mean he could invite executives from his construction company to stay with him. In 1998, Nikolai went to prison on racketeering charges. While he was in prison, his rivals stole all his money and possessions, leaving him penniless. Now he lives in 4 poorly heated rooms in the Tsuchigen House with his wife, while the rest of the house decays around him. Before moving on to the next point, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you all to my merchandise. You can support my content by getting your favorite products from my store or by simply joining my channel. Your support means a lot to me. Now, let's get back to the video. Number 4. KIO Towers. If you're afraid of heights, you definitely wouldn't want to live in the KIO Towers, also known as the Gate of Europe Towers. They are twin office buildings in Madrid, Spain, towering 114 meters in the air. Each tower has 26 floors. The KIO Towers began construction in 1989 and were finished in 1996. After completion, they became the second tallest twin towers in Spain. American architects Philip Johnson and John Berge were responsible for their design, while the construction company Fomento di Construcciones S.A. brought them to life. Given their lean, you've probably guessed that structural engineers were involved. Leslie E. Robertson Associates handled the structural engineering, as both buildings have a 15-degree incline. They were the world's very first inclined skyscrapers. While the buildings are well known in Spain, you might have seen them featured on TV. They appeared in the 1995 film The Day of the Beast even before they were completed, and in an episode of Mickey and the Roadster Racers. Number 5. House. On Middle Sedge Island in 2015, a property on Middle Sedge Island in Barnegat Bay was listed for sale for $6.5 million. It looked like a dream property, a beautiful 6,000 square foot, 3-story house and a guest house on 14.4 acres of land. Despite being on its own island, it had all the utilities you'd need to live comfortably, including electricity, gas, water, and sewer, all connected to the mainland by buried mains. The property also had its own emergency generator, 2 separate docks, and illuminated boardwalks. It seemed like the perfect private paradise. However, the picture shown on the real estate listing vastly differs from the reality in 2022. The property now sits abandoned and dilapidated, having fallen into a severe state of disrepair. Birds have taken over, windows are missing, and the in-ground pool has even popped out of place. According to online records, Hurricane Sandy hit the island in 2012, causing serious damage to the house and the land. Township documents show the current value of the island is $850,000, with improvements valued at $40,000. That's a total of $890,000 for less than the $6.5 million it was once worth. Number 6. Castellfollit de la Roca, Spain. We usually build our towns and cities near water sources. It just makes sense. But Castellfollit de la Roca in Catalonia, Spain, takes this logic to a whole new level. Yes, it's located between 2 rivers, the Fluvi and the Torinel L, but what truly sets it apart is that it's perched on a 160-foot-high basalt cliff. This dramatic setting was formed from the layering of 2 ancient lava flows. Dating back to the Middle Ages, the town is just 1 kilometer long and home to about 1,000 residents. Despite its size, it attracts countless visitors. I mean, who wouldn't want to see a town seemingly clinging to a cliff's edge? The views are absolutely breathtaking. Number 7. The Chemosphere. Think of a typical house, probably square or rectangular, right? Now throw that idea out the window. Welcome to the Chemosphere in Los Angeles, California, often described as the most modern home ever built. Designed in the 1960s by visionary architect John Lautner, it looks more like a UFO than a house. Suspended 30 feet in the air on a single 5-foot-wide concrete column, the 2,200 square foot octagonal home sits on a steep 45-degree slope once thought to be unbuildable. Built to withstand heavy rain and earthquakes, the house was declared a Los Angeles Historic Cultural Monument in 2004. It's part sci-fi dream, part architectural genius. Number 8. The Drina River House. A house in the middle of a river. Yes, really. Nestled on a rock in the Drina River near Bajina Bada, western Serbia, is a small cabin known as the Drina River House. It was first built in 1968 by a group of swimmers seeking shelter. While never intended as a full-time residence, it has become an iconic symbol of creativity and resilience. The house has been destroyed by floods at least 7 times, but each time it was rebuilt stronger. Concrete beams were even added during one rebuild, but nature still wins sometimes. The current structure has stood its ground since 2011. Number 9. Free spirit spheres. Ever dreamed of living in a treehouse? How about a spherical one suspended in the heart of a forest? Welcome to the Free Spirit Sphere's unique accommodations hidden within mature forests in British Columbia, Canada. These cozy orbs, crafted from wood and fiberglass, are tethered securely to trees using tensioned ropes that fan out like spider webs for stabilization. Inside, each sphere offers spiral staircases, suspension bridges, soft lighting, and panoramic windows that keep you connected to the serenity around you. It's more than just a stay, it's a spiritual retreat designed to help you feel oneness with nature. Number 10. The Thousand Islands. Don't let the name fool you. The Thousand Islands actually number 1,864 and stretch across the St. Lawrence River between the US and Canada. Some islands are massive, over 100 square kilometers, while others are barely big enough for a single house or just a bird's nest. This archipelago has drawn vacationers since the 1700s and was once dubbed a millionaire's playground in the early 20th century. Wealthy businessmen built lavish mansions, but today, it's more of a haven for sightseers, kayakers, and river cruisers. Maritime museums dot the region, making it a perfect blend of natural beauty and rich history. Let's be real, your house is probably cozy and comfortable, but compared to these architectural wonders, it's like a plain slice of bread in a world full of gourmet pizzas. Just imagine living atop a dramatic cliff, inside a forest sphere, or on a rock in the middle of a river. Childhood dreams come to life, right? So, dear adventurers, which one would you choose to live in, and why? Would you dare to sleep in a flying saucer-like home, or find peace in a treehouse surrounded by whispering leaves? Drop your answer in the comments. Let your imagination run wild. So, that was all for today. I hope you have watched the video up to this timestamp. Make sure to press the like button if it amazed you. Press the subscribe button if you still haven't subscribed to the channel, as it's totally free. You can follow me on all social media platforms. All links are given in the description. You can also watch other cool stuff. The playlist link is also mentioned in the description. I will catch you up soon in the next video. Till then, peace out.